Great. Well, let's call this meeting to order, and we can introduce ourselves.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jenny Gringer. It's really nice to be here. I work at the University of Iowa in research, primarily psychiatry research, over the past 25 some years. I'm currently working on a study looking at brain imaging and suicidality. I'm also a printmaker locally. I'm involved with PS1 and the Iowa City Press Co-op. And I'm also one of the founding members of the Joy March that happens quarterly in Iowa City, including this Sunday, along with A Prompt for the Planet. So great to be here.
Great, welcome. It's good to have you here.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Ensley. I am an urban planning graduate and I studied public art and hoping to get some experience by serving on the committee.
Jeremy was also an intern here several years ago. How long ago was that? Maybe four?
It was a while ago.
4 or 5 years or so?
Yeah.
It's good to see you back again. Well, do you want to introduce yourselves, the rest of the committee? And
Sure. I'm Ron Konecki. I'm the Public Works Director.
Andrea?
Yep. Like I said before, I'm Andrea Truitt. I work at Summer of the Arts. Yay for Public Space One. Whee!
Yeah, I'm Steve Miller. I'm an architect in town and currently the chair.
And I'm Julie Seidel Johnson, the Parks and Recreation Director.
I'm Eddie Boykin. I've been a member since 2019 and lifelong Iowa City resident.
And I'm Wendy Ford. I'm the staff liaison to the Public Art Advisory Committee. So I'll see if I can manage the Zoom, the slideshow, the recording, and everything else. I may need help, so. Great. We have one member in the audience. It's Dr. Rachel Arnone, who is going to be talking on one of our first agenda items about the Longfellow Tunnel Junior High Mural Project. So.
Perfect. All right. Moving on to consideration of or is there anything not on the agenda that we need to consider? Okay. Then moving on to consideration of the August 4th minutes. This is minor, but I noticed it's for the budget. It said that I made the motion, but I don't think I can really make motions as the chair, right?
Oh.
So someone else must have made that motion to approve the budget.
I'll go back and listen to the tape and correct that.
I feel like if you just plugged in Dominic, it would probably be.
Well, Dominic seconded, so.
Okay. Actually, things happen. Maybe he did make the motion too. So.
I'll check on that for
Everything
sure.
else looked good, though, I thought.
I'll move approval of the minutes from August 4th, 2022.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Great. All right, now we get to talk about the Longfellow Tunnel.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up the image, although Rachel has a good one with her. Let's see.
For the people that came in later, do you want to see them? The other people already saw them.
Sure.
And Rachel, if you could use that microphone, then it'll be a lot easier for us to get to hear what you've said. So,
Have you already seen it?
You can see it on the screen now.
And the landscape one is going to have some of the figures from the other one on it as well. Because the artist and I talked about how the landscape is still leaving open space for taggers. While it looked like it was filled to her, it's not really going to look the same to taggers. And I stopped bringing students because we had a panic attack starting last year with one of my students, so it was too scary moving from the table to this situation. So I apologize, but
Understandable.
I'm not bringing them back. That was scary. So the bottom one is actually two artists. You guys always ask why they did what they did. So I asked them. So Hamish was speaking for him and Archie, because Archie's not actually in my class. He just knew this was going to happen, and so came in out of study hall and it is now going on the trip. So it's a fusion of two artists' personalities showing their cartoony and realistic traits. That's the bottom one, okay? And using Archie's really great markers. The top one, Willow said that the hills and stars, and she was gonna add people, so she's totally fine with us adding the figures to the other one. But the hills and stars have been a thing that she's been kind of redrawing over the years. So this time it's mixed media. She used colored pencil marker, or colored pencil watercolor and collage on that. I think they're gonna really go well together. It's been a while since we've had two that go really well. What questions do you guys have for me?
There's several new people on the board now. Do you want to explain the process, what you do that day, and how that
Yeah,
works?
so if we back up, it's an assignment for everyone in the class to design a mural, and then the students themselves vote. And I always talk about it's nice if they go together, but it's the two top vote getters. And they actually voted when a sub was there this last week. And I think they picked some really nice ones that go together. There were some great ideas, but the artists who design them automatically get to go on the trip. 10 is about the limit for being in the tunnel and actually staying productive as well the whole day. More bodies, it's too much. And also they start not working. But then the other 8, so in this case, this year, the other 7 I take the kids who want to go, I put their names in a bucket, and I draw them out. And that's who gets to go. And then the day we'll leave Southeast at 9 next Thursday, and then we will be going back to Southeast at 2. And the artists who were picked, so Willow and Hamish and Archie will be in charge of their side. We talked briefly about micromanaging and how we're not doing that. But if there's a question, then that's who they ask. They don't ask me. And generally the students do a really, really good job with that. And I've had some students, normally in the past it's been like shyer kids that their stuff gets picked, and they generally step up in a really positive way. I had one girl micromanage once, but the rest of the years it's all been great, and they've had that leadership experience. We talked briefly about spray painting skills, but anyone who's spray painted knows that there's a learning curve, and we don't have time for the learning curve, so we just go with it. So it will be close to that, but with junior high kids, not exactly, but we'll get really close. And we'll be done by 2 when we go back to the school. They'll probably be done by 1, and we'll just be hanging out. Any other questions?
What grade are they again? Is it 7th?
These are all
or
8th graders.
8th graders, yeah.
Yeah. So the majority of them, I've had them before last year in class as well.
I live right over there, and I walk through that all the time, so it's really cool. Do they? I noticed they get tagged sometimes, like.
So I think we've been doing this for 7 years. I need to check my Facebook and see. But before COVID, it was making it almost to the next time we painted. But with COVID, that's all been kind of thrown out of the water. I just think people had more time on their hands, I guess. But before that, every year it'd be like, okay, we're going to paint, and then it would get tagged. But it was originally started, though, to stop the tagging. So we're trying. We did start putting our name on it, too, so that people know.
That's good.
What's the date you're hoping to install it?
We're going next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yeah, and you said the physical plant people already painted? Okay. That's kind of early, so I might take
They'll
them.
check it again, don't
Okay,
worry.
okay, good.
Thursday? I had Monday.
No,
Thursday.
Thursday,
Okay.
sorry.
Well, that works better in a number of ways.
Yeah, I thought they were
anyway.
painting on Monday. Like, the city was painting on Monday.
Yes, okay. All right. Whew, good thing we learned that. Okay.
And last year, they called the police on us. I talked to every single person that walks through. Ev- So, and my vehicle is parked down out of the parking lot, but down there, so we have it for our stuff and the
I'll
whatever.
reach out to them too.
They gave my license plate number, so somebody would have had to walk over, get my license plate number, talk to me, and still call the police.
Wow.
Yes. So we were tagging at 10 o'clock in the morning. But
Great.
They're bold.
Great.
Well, thanks, Rachel.
Yeah,
Looks
thanks so much.
great.
have any other questions?
It's exciting. We love this. We need a motion to approve it, I believe, right?
That'd be
Yeah.
good, probably.
Second.
Yeah.
That was
You motioned, you
to
seconded?
approve
All
it,
right.
yes.
Jenny and then
All in favor?
Jeremy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Betty.
Aye.
Yeah.
Jenny's daughter actually
She did the
was
first
in the
year.
first year.
Yeah.
The first year of it?
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
great. She learned how to spray paint. It was amazing.
Great.
And then Wendy, I
Yeah.
usually don't have the receipt. I'll give it to you that day.
Okay.
So if you think of it, ask me, because sometimes I forget.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck,
you.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, do you want to check on Zoom to see if Anita's hanging out?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
there.
All right. We can move on to considering retiring the Windows and Worlds bookmark.
Yeah, this
Piece.
one, let's see.
Oh,
It's working there, but not here.
It's pretty clear on our screens.
Is it? Okay. This is one of the bookmarks that we discussed at our last meeting that is in dire need of either repair or retirement. And at the last meeting, it was suggested I give Susan Craig a call. Susan was responsible for donating this to the city, and Susan agreed that its time has come and that we should go ahead and retire this one as it has had a good life. So I think we probably just need a motion to officially, accept that we should retire this bookmark.
So I'll move that we should decommission and remove the Windows and Worlds bookmark outside
Second.
the transit office. That one.
second.
And Jenny second.
And
Okay.
it's just disposed of then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Where
Great.
are the other ones? Are any of the other ones still out?
I don't
A
have.
couple of them have been decommissioned for similar reasons, maybe not through the process. But,
Yeah. We do have a list of them, Jeremy. I don't have that offhand here, but it's something we could find out, and something that we do need to keep up on for our annual review of how these things are, especially the things that tend to age a little faster than others. So,
All right. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
and let's see. The next thing, find it. I don't have my printed agenda anymore, so
The next thing is this sculptures showcase video review.
oh, yeah, that's right. Our communications department, Jack Brooks in particular, did a really nice video on sort of an overview using, oh, thanks, using a drone to show the locations of and kind of highlight at a high level, literally, the sculpture showcase pieces that went in. So I wanted to see if it hurt to play just that. Do I probably have to do that share screen on Zoom, right? Okay. Zoom. Share screen. Here it is. So, and I won't show him here, but he also, at the other link I have, wherever it is now, I must have closed my PowerPoint. He also has individual 1 or 2 minute interviews with each of the artists, and it gives you a flavor for what inspired them and kind of what they're like. And I really encourage you to go see that too. That's just at our regular website here, where it's our usual icgov.org and then Iowa City Sculptor Showcase. So under each one of these is then a description in type. Are you seeing that? And then the little interview with each of the artists. So it really is a nice way to highlight each of those artists without really having to do a big event. So I'm going to stop sharing on Zoom since we're the only ones there.
Do you know if the city plans to do a social media post on this, or have they already? I don't.
They have
They
done.
have? Okay.
Yeah, they have
I'll go back
done,
and
but we need to push it out again and get it out there. So besides communication staff, which have done a lot of photography, a lot of video, putting the videos together, I can't thank Julie's staff enough. They were out with skid steers and really gentle handlers of artwork, and the artists felt really good about having their help in that. So thanks to Parks and Rec on that. And someday we'll get streets involvement and signs, but it's not going to work this time just because of materials and stuff. So, so I wanted you to see that, and we'll have more of a report on the public relations on that afterwards.
Do you know what happened to the artists all came and got the last ones, right? And then it's just their personal, if the public reached out about any.
I don't think we had anybody reach out during the last year about purchasing any of the ones that were up. while Hildy DeBruin was installing the one on the southern end of the Iowa River Trail, somebody did come by and say, "Hey, I love that. What would it cost to put in my yard?" And then they were a little blown away by her answer. So, but I always love those moments when people realize there is big value to art, and I think that's part of the whole, one of the whole benefits to the community is realizing, what that is. So appreciating it. And another thing that would happen in 2 different locations, we were having artists either remove or install, was people would stop and comment about how much they liked what was going there and why are we changing it, and then they take a look at the new and go, oh, that's pretty cool too. So it's a good, I think it's a good program. People seem to enjoy it for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if I could just move on to some updates, unless you had questions on the sculpture
Nope.
showcase. The Black Hawk Mini Park project, Dawson Davenport, as you'll recall, accepted the terms of an increase in budget to do a part 2 of this plaque that will be installed in the Black Hawk Mini Park. The second part of which will be the sort of history and deeper dive into both Black Hawk, the man, and the Black Hawk Mini Park and how it came to be. So before the sign is installed, he needs to finish part 2 so that the QR code on the sign actually goes to the materials that he's working on now. And you might have seen in this morning's paper a huge article on Dawson Davenport, who has just taken out a 5-year lease on the former Unitarian Universalist Church here at Gilbert and Iowa Avenue to do, and I can't remember what he calls it, but a home for and a gallery for Indigenous peoples, art, community, and learning, all kinds of things. So he's got a big vision for what can happen there, and I'm guessing he's going to pull it off. I've gotten to know him quite well over the last few months working on this PedMall project, and he's just got so many things going on. It's almost scary. The one thing I don't know is how he's going to afford the lease on that, but until he comes asking the city for help, I'm not going to ask him how he's going to do it. So, but I encourage you to read that article as well. The South District Bus Stop Bench Project, as you recall, we had one applicant to be the mentor. The South District Neighborhood Association group, who, for the new members, wants to have a mentor help an emerging artist build a bus stop bench to be installed at one of the bus stops in their neighborhood. And they wanted that bus stop to be representative of the diversity of the community. Well, no mentors stepped up in the first time period we had it open, except for one fellow, Hani El-Kadi, whom you may know, who withdrew because he didn't feel he had the construction background to be a mentor for that. So the group wanted to let the application window for that remain open and have their group go out and basically solicit folks they knew to fill that spot. And we've actually had 2 applications. I think one of them is real, and the other one is probably not realistic. The person was from California, so we need to follow up on that. But that's where that is now. They'll be making a decision if they want to continue with this mentor emerging artist model, or if they want to go with a fully emerged artist instead to do this project in their neighborhood. So the airport mural RFQ, in fact, after this meeting, I go to the airport commission, who will be discussing their project. As you recall, they have a 300-foot long airport hangar that faces Riverside Drive, and they've been wanting to do a mural on it. Our committee budgeted $8,000 for that, which is a portion of what it would take to do a mural that's really that big and in the quality that, would stay up for a while. We're working out the details in the RFQ for the artist, mostly because the sort of what comes first, the chicken or the egg, the budget or the artist in this case. They're going to be raising additional funds in hopes of raising up to $40,000 which is probably the realistic price tag on a mural of that size. We'd had Thomas Agron come out and consult with a couple of the members of the commission and look at the surface, which is it's not exactly corrugated, or board and batten, but it's got vertical ribs to it, which are complicating for anybody who paints a mural in 2 dimensions. So it's a metal building with standing seams or something comparable. And so with his expertise, we wanted to just sort of look at the whole thing realistically and say, okay, what would it take a project of this size? And he gave a range of between $20,000 and $40,000, and a couple of other items of note, such as the kind of paint that actually works well on that kind of surface, the fact that you have to power wash the whole thing or it flakes off, the fact that using a scissor lift is better than a ladder, the airport has a scissor lift, all those kinds of details that need to really be part of the information you give an artist who would be interested. So he also suggested that rather than put an RFQ out for one artist, you put an RFQ out and you shortlist applications to 3, pay them each a $500 stipend to come up with a concept that the airport commission then looks at and says, oh, we like that concept. They take that concept then and use that as their marketing materials in their fundraising and development, which seems like a pretty good idea. But it will also require getting that RFQ out there yet late this fall so that those concepts can come in early in the year, and so they can do fundraising in the spring in order to get a mural painted by the end of the summer this year. So we'll see what they say at the Airport Commission this evening, but I anticipate it'll be a lively discussion for sure. Mostly because I think there is a range of views on folks who think, we had a hard time raising money for the pancake breakfast, how are we going to raise money for a mural? So we'll just see how it works out. Then the last thing was Simple Flight. At our last meeting, you had approved having that taken away to be repaired and renewed. And last week, I think it was, David Dennis came and did that. So I took a picture of him after he got it on his trailer. Next steps on that will be meeting with him after it's been sandblasted for color choices on the new powder coating. And that's what that is.
Can you remind me where the location of this is?
Yeah, this is the easiest way to describe it is if you're at Iowa River Power Company on First Avenue in Coralville and you walk across the bridge towards the dog park, it's right on the right after that. So, and again, Julie's staff was helpful in that because not only did they help get the statue lifted onto the trailer, they also cleared the brush that, as you remember seeing photos of last time, had sort of encroached upon the sculpture. So it'll have some breathing space when it comes back in a few weeks.
In 2 weeks, you said?
A few weeks.
A few weeks.
I think he had said it would be a 6-week process or so. Yeah.
You've been busy.
Yeah. There's a lot of loose ends out there right now. And I'm so glad that Rachel said painting on Thursday because I swear to God, she said Monday, and I've got the van reserved for Monday, and I'll have to changed that, so. Yeah, I didn't know it involved driving 10 junior high kids, that this job would involve driving 10 junior high kids to a underground tunnel. Should be fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you for those updates. Anything else? Any other
Not
stuff?
for me, unless you had any questions.
A short one. You wanna-
Motion to adjourn?
That was
Okay.
fast.
Second.
All in favor?
I-
Aye.
All right, thanks, everybody.